All right, guys, this is going to be a fun one. I've been slacking on the videos here lately because I'm not sure why. Just got lazy. Didn't have really much going on. It's so hot, you know, in Florida this time of year. It's been like 96, 97 degrees. So I got the door closed, air conditioner sort of blowing through the laundry room, and then I've got the fans going. So that's the background noise you're hearing. This is something I've been looking forward to for a long time, and if you're a race car purist or GT3 purist, you're not going to like this. But I'm doing an aftermarket stereo in the GT3, and I'm going to do it as just sort of like a do-it-yourself project. So my intent of this project is to, I don't want to add like hundreds of pounds, and I'm going to sort of take you through the process of discovery, figuring this out. I don't know how to do this. Let me rephrase. I haven't done a GT3, but I'm going to this is sort of plug and play what I'm doing, but this is going to be a relatively high end, but very modular, very simple. I can revert it right back to stock car stereo. So the thing I don't know is where do I run the wires through to get to the interior, and to come, because the amp's going to go up front. I know where the factory amp is, but I don't know what the harness looks like. So I'm going to start tearing the car apart. I haven't gotten the stuff yet. They shipped it out here the other day. Let me explain that. So I've been thinking about doing an aftermarket stereo for a while, and I was talking to Ultimate Auto here in town, and there's just going to be so much money, and $10,000, $12,000 to do what I wanted to do, and I'm just not that into it. The car is not a good environment to listen to music. It's loud. You can hear the engine, and you can hear the tires in the road, and but I enjoy driving. I enjoy driving on an early Sunday morning or Saturday morning to Cars and Coffee, and I liked the place I listen to music is in the car, and I'm an audio guru, audio guy, and so I want to upgrade the system. And so I started talking to Ultimate Auto, and then I have a very clear vision on what they want the system to look like. And the type of speakers that I want, and again what I want it to sound like. And I've been reluctant because it's so much money. I mean, gosh, for a couple of speakers, because of all the custom modification, and they're just expensive to begin with. So I saw a post on Renlist. There was a guy up in Boston who got a stereo done, which shocked me because I have Dyn Audio speakers here in the garage. I love Dyn Audio because they have a silk dome, soft dome tweeter, and I just prefer that over metal or ribbon or electrostatic or any other sort of transducer that produces high frequencies. I just prefer a good old-fashioned silk dome. The sound that it makes, I tend to have a sensitivity to harsh, brighter sounds. Most males don't hear that, but I do for whatever reason. That higher pitched kind of harshness of metal, titanium, you pick the aluminum, you pick the type of metal dome. It just doesn't work so well for me. Even the Burmester system in the Carrera S I had was great, but the high frequency was a little harsh for me. It did soften up after break-in, but it was still, and it was very little ability to tune the way that system sounded. But it was the best factory system I've ever had, but it still left a little bit to be desired for me. So I stumbled upon this post, and first thing I see is a picture of a Dyn Audio tweeter in the dash, and I'm like, Dyn Audio tweeters, the structure, the case of it are just huge, and I saw then there's a tiny little space in the dash, and what I don't want to do is be cutting holes or building fiberglass panels or kick panels or anything like that. I just want it to fit in the factory locations. And sure enough, this company, this guy had done it. They built a plate or built a bracket that bolted right to the factory locations. Pulled the factory tweeter out, put the Dyn Audio, took this sort of the large casing structure off of it, and easily was able to fit with this bracket into this custom-made bracket into the dash. So I said, wow, that's awesome. I knew the 7s would fit in the door. And so what I really wanted, I just want front stage, so I want a left and right, tweeter and mid bass driver. I'm going to eliminate the little 3-inch that they have in the door, and then a woofer. And what I thought I wanted, Joe Rogan has a GT3 RS with the back seat where there's a molded sort of pair of 10s. And I really didn't want 2 10s, but for symmetry of it, that's what I was intending to have built. And I saw what they did is they took and built this tiny, like it was a 6-inch deep enclosure, and it went up into the footwell, which is sort of similar to the Burmester where the woofer's up in the dash, but in the passenger footwell, and it looked like it wasn't even there. And it pressure fit in, there's no cutting, there's no bolting to the floor or the firewall of the car. So I'm like, man, this is perfect. So I sent the guy a PM, and then they, I think the guy's name is Stefan, and then he responded back. He's like, I don't know much about it. They just did it, and it sounds incredible. And I figured it would. And so what I did was I came up with this idea in the middle of the night. I'm like, well, why don't I call these guys and see, they can make the box, they can make the trim rings for the tweeter and for the woofer. They could make the amplifier, the amp rack goes in the front trunk here, the frunk. And they could make the cover and all that stuff and just make it sort of like fab it up whenever they did the next GT3, and then they could make me sort of a harness to connect, because I don't want to change the factory PCM, the factory head unit. It's just too much work and for little gain. So I knew I would get a processor anyway. So I called them up and said, hey, I got an idea. I'd like to make a sort of price expandable, if you will, system for the GT3. I mean, the amp rack's going to be the same. The rack for the crossovers and the processor underneath the seat is going to be the same. The speaker trim rings are going to be the same. The subwoofer box is going to be the same for no matter what GT3 you do. Shoot, I mean, we don't even have an option for color of carpet. It's black. So I started talking to Jim at Sound in Motion. I said, here's what I want to do. I'd like to build a DIY, do-it-yourself car audio system. And he said, that sounds like a good idea. Tell me about what you want. And so I explained to him I really want Dyne audio, and I want just a 2-channel front stage setup. I'm going to eliminate the rears, eliminate the center. I want basically the same thing that Stefan had, but I want to do it so that you guys can sort of package this up and ship it to me, because I can't come to Boston with my car. And because I've been in the car audio, I used to sell car audio. I've watched hundreds of systems installed. I've installed a bunch of systems myself, so I have a basic, a solid understanding how to do this. So Jim was like, well, yeah, man, what we could do, we could make like a harness where with crimp connectors and RCA links and everything sort of all the wires pre-cut and everything. I know what he said. I know I've got another GT3 coming in a few months, so we'll just build your box and build the bracket and build everything at the same time as your car, or as that car for your car that they're doing for the other car. And then they'll tune the sort of set up the processor, the DSP, and I'll explain to you how that's going to work, and we'll just ship it all to you in a box and with directions. And we're going to see. I mean, this is their first time doing this. Normally they do it themselves, but they're going to, the box is coming here to me, it'll be here on Tuesday, the box of everything. And I'm going to weigh everything, make sure, sort of see what comes out of the car, what goes into the car, how much weight it is, and obviously sort of take you through the fumbling, the process of what I screw up and what I do well, and sort of explain to you what, obviously what it sounds like. But I'm excited. I think it's going to be awesome. It's exactly what I want. Unobtrusive, easily reverted back to stock. I don't want to be cutting stuff. I don't want to be causing any sort of electrical problems. I want it to be very simple, simple 2-channel setup with a woofer. I don't want tons of crazy bass, but I do want to, I want to feel the music and really enjoy, the car. And it is quiet enough now that I put the normal bypass back on that you can jump on the road, put it in 7th gear, and roll. It's comfortable enough for that. So I know I'm blaspheming here by putting an aftermarket stereo in a GT3, but really all I'm adding is an amplifier, a processor, and a pair of speakers, and I'm eliminating a few of the other drivers. So it's not like I'm doing all kinds of crazy subwoofer enclosures and cutting and molding and stuff like that. So this should be fairly DIY. I'm going to figure out what are the, if you do own a GT3 and you want to do something like this, there's going to be different levels. You can just choose the level of equipment you want. My system is costing about $7,700 for everything. So that's pretty darn expensive for a car audio system. But there's a lot of custom fabrication in the amp rack and the subwoofer enclosure and the trim rings, and then I used high-end equipment. I'm using a Genesis Series 3 amplifier. The amp is almost $2,000. The speakers, the separates, the 7 tweet that are going in the doors and in the dash are what, $1,000 for that. The Moscone processor is $800-900. So just in equipment alone, if I'm going to do this, I'm going to do it right. And despite the fact that I didn't want to spend that much, I decided to sort of get the equipment that I really wanted. And then I'm going to own a bunch of GT3s, or at least that's my intent. So they really don't change much. So I'm assuming I'll be able to reuse some of that stuff as I revert it back to stock. So I think that's the story. I think that's what. I think that's everything I need to explain. I'll explain stuff as I'm tearing the car apart. So what I'm going to do today is start to pull things apart. The only thing I really have to do is take some of the trim off of the doors, pull the carpet back. I need to take the passenger seat out because that's where the factory amp is, and I need to take apart the front so I can run the wire through. And I think I only need to make like a 5/8 inch hole and then put a rubber grommet in there to make sure we don't have any water issues. So I think it's going to be, that's the only drilling or cutting I'm going to need to do. I'm going to install a sub-control, and then, like I said, I'll have the processor, the Moscone digital, the DSP, which will connect to a laptop so that they tuned it, but every car is different. So I'll have to play with time delay and the EQ and stuff like that to figure out, to set it up the way I want. So anyway, I'm excited about this. This to me is, I think, going to be a cool project and something. My goal was to build something that, I guess just because I'm a nice guy, but document this, one, for my website and my YouTube channel and stuff like that. But the fun of it, of sharing the experience of building this, but also for you other GT3 guys, hopefully show you how easy. Hopefully this is easy. But show you how easy this is, so that if you want to call the guys at Sound in Motion, you can do the same thing. And like I said, you don't have to do a $2,000 amplifier. You can do a JL $500 amp and then a set of whatever Boston Acoustics or JL separates, and it's going to sound way better doing their sub enclosure, which is really, really cool. You guys are going to like how that works. It just pressure fits in. I can pull it out if I want to. It's totally custom, something that they made, and I'll sort of explain to you more about sort of the woofer and the design of that and how it works. It's funny, I'm coming back full circle that I'm getting the same 10-inch woofer that I had back in 2000 in my Civic Si is an Illusion audio sub, the neodymium magnets on the front, and then the basket is so since the magnets on the front and it's neodymium. It's a more powerful, denser, lighter weight magnet. The cone or the cone of the woofer is carbon fiber, and it's not a high excursion woofer. So what they do is they use the little pocket there, but the woofer box is faced upside down, so the woofer is actually firing into the kick panel, into the firewall, and then bass is non-directional, so then it sort of emanates out through the cabin. And the guys at Sound of Motion have done many, many systems. You would think that it would do best behind the front seat, but just the way the car is, the design of the cabin, from what I understand, it sounds a lot better with the bass in front of you. Just the way that this is the way the frequencies sort of bounce around in the car. So let's start tearing this thing apart. I'm going to start in the front and take you through this. I'm going to be taking pictures along the way, and we're going to figure this out. I'm going to learn more about my car. What I didn't want to do is tear it apart, or there's going to be bolts and things rattling around. So I don't think I'm going to have to do too much deconstruction. I think this is going to be pretty basic, taking plastic parts off and putting plastic parts back on. So let's get started, and I'm going to tear this thing apart in anticipation of the parts coming here in the next few days. All right, so I'm going to have to cut this. This thing's, I think, pretty sweet, but it's a Porsche branded, just a pan to protect that, so that you don't just have bare carpet. I don't put a lot of stuff in here, but I do occasionally go get groceries, and what I'm going to have to do. So I'm going to have to cut a hole out of this. Probably actually have to cut the whole front of this if I want to put it back in, because the amplifier is going to go here. So one of the main questions I have is, where is the wire going to go through the firewall? And I know they're going to diagram that for me, but I think there's a hole right here somewhere. I think I need to take this off. Yeah, and I don't have any instructions here. They're going to make me some instructions, but I'm sort of doing this just out of life experience. All right, back to work. Kiddos just got home, so I'm taking these. That's the release lever. Toolkit's out. I'm assuming I have to remove the carpeting from here. Let's see how this works. Disconnect this LED light. So I'm gonna have to pull this cover off. Yeah, let me get that cover. So up here is where the amplifier is going to go, right against this edge here. Disconnect this Molex plug. Little screwdriver. theoretically. Won't let this beat me. Oh, great. Already cut my finger. Try this. Oh, shoot. Okay, I thought I cut the wire. I didn't. There we go. That was pretty simple. See that in there? It's actually pretty cool. So now I'm going to take these little things off here. I love how Porsche, they'll use the same size bolt. And I've worked on other cars, and you need 15 different size tools working in the same area, but it's amazing, you know, a lot of the stuff. Let's see here. Okay, just now, so there's a grommet. Now the question is going to be, how do I get the wire actually into, and I think what they're going to do is they're going to draw me a diagram for that. Let's take this off, why not? Oh, we got a crawler these days, so she crawls all the way across the house. Sounds like maybe Kate's coming out to visit us. All right. I'm going to pull this front piece of carpeting off. Pretty cool. So the amp is going to mount, I think it mounts to these, yeah. It mounts to these two plates here. There's two threaded. Yeah, you can't really see them. And a little ISO. So that was pretty easy to take this apart. So there's two threaded posts here that I think the amp rack mounts to. And then I won't put that piece of carpet back in. They actually made me a piece. It goes in here. Take this LED off. Cool. So they're drawing me a diagram so that I can figure out, so it'll show me where I'm going to actually run the wires into the car. And that was pretty easy. So let's take a look. All right, you got to figure it out. Hey, don't mess with that. What I did was use the right angle tool, pulled up and then slid this piece all the way to the back. And just pop this out, theoretically. All right, so all I needed to do was just pull a little bit harder in the right direction. Pops right up. Now, there we go. And that, this is interesting because the factory hole, or the location for the tweeter, is actually designed for the burmester. So the bracket they're going to make. So here's the factory tweeter. Hey, don't touch the camera. So the thing you need to be careful of, messed one of these up a little bit. This one actually left the little clip inside the car. I'm sure it'll pop back on. Now I got to get these off. Interested to see how crappy these little tweeters are. Assuming we're going to be trimming this. So the new tweeter can fit. There's a little tweeter, tiny little soft dome. So I'm wondering if we'll need to trim this. I'll probably need to trim this off. Let's see. Boom. Tweeter's removed. Okay. Big step. All right, time to remove door panel number 2. Boom. On. You just kind of put your fingers behind, pull. All the little rubber. Grommets off. It goes back on. Oh, take this piece off here. Cool, man. Hey, don't come back here. Or do. There's off. What? I can't. People can't see. Look, you're standing in front of the camera. What you got going on, bro? All right, so I'm gonna take the bolts out. T30 Torx. It's crazy how I'm taking this thing apart. Okay, there goes that. No, do not go in there. That light's pretty cool, right? You know, I use that for the adventure races in the nighttime. Who did I used to do adventure races with? You remember? Again, remove the 3 T30s. Lift straight up. Oh wait, gotta take this piece off. Almost forgot. This was like a little flexible little hook piece. Lift up. Pull this off. Pull that out. Little hook. Pull off the control unit. The door. There we go. And we're off. So here's what the back side of the door panel looks like, in case you're wondering. So the latch hooks on. And then I got this little Molex plug here. Like 24 pin connector, something like that. Speaker grills are here. I'm gonna figure out what has been clicking over there. Anyway, we'll work on that when we get there. We'll put the door panel somewhere. We'll put it up top. Not sure what I'm going to dynamite yet. I don't know if we pull this vapor barrier off or what. Maybe just pull it back. Yeah. Careful. You don't want to play with it anymore? Here you go. Here you go. Here you go, buddy. Put it back in the drawer. You want to go snuggle? Looks like I'm about done for tonight, fellas. Just get the speaker out of here. I'm going to take the seat out, look at the amp. That's what I'm excited about. All the wires are color coded, so this is going to be awesome. You know, the biggest fear I have is getting the wires through the firewall, and I'm guessing that can't be that hard. Hey, out of there, son. Is that grease or is that water? Dielectric grease. I don't think I want to take this off. I wonder if it pulls off. I'll ask the guys. Yeah, definitely want to dynamite some of this stuff. We'll see. So there's a speaker. I would say what we're going to be doing is just a tiny upgrade. You know, it's actually bolted to this plastic barrier, so that might help with vibration. All right, so the door panels are off, tweeters are out, woofers are out, front is ready. Now what I gotta do is take the seat out, get the factory amp exposed. Probably gonna pull the trim. I'm gonna pull the trim off to expose the, underneath the carpet. I'm gonna pull the center trim off, and it's really not that bad. I mean, the hardest part thus far has been the tweeters. The doors or the seat's a little tricky to get out of the car, but I know how to do that because we put the roll cage in. So I don't think this is gonna be too bad, guys. I think it's you're trapped in a net. You wanna go inside now? Anyway, I'll keep you posted. I'll keep working. All right, guys, I'm back at it. So today I'm going to take the passenger seat out. Let's see. Probably would help. There we go. If I knew how to actually take this thing out. Fire extinguisher out, in case I actually needed it. This time, I'm going to vacuum under the seat so you guys don't have to yell at me anymore. Put the air compressor under there. Let's hope I don't run that over. Yeah, that's a bad idea. Not air compressor, fire extinguisher. So I'm going to vacuum under the seat this time so you guys won't yell at me. When I took the GMG roll bar out, I didn't vacuum under it. Forget how I took these off. Oh yeah, my right angle pick. Pull out, there's that. Just so you can expose the Torx bolt. Telling you, if I can figure out how to get this through the firewall efficiently, this is going to be easy. The wiring. Kind of excited to see what the factory amp looks like. I've never actually seen that. Yep, E12. per advice of one of my YouTube buddies, I'm gonna buy a electric ratcheting, whatever, electric ratchet. I had one in my hands at Home Depot, but I told myself I'm not buying anything for a while. You know, I'm gonna take my watch off so I don't mess it up. There's number one. There's only 4 of these. And I have to take the center console trim off in order to be able to run the subwoofer cable. For the sub control. Assuming I'm either gonna put it on the steering column or I'm gonna put it, I'd like to put it in the center console, but I'm not sure that I have the fabrication skills to do that. We're gonna figure that out come in a few minutes here when I pull it out. I love this GMG roll bar. I know it's a poser bar, but it's awesome. Really, I'm dead serious about this. It adds some structural rigidity to the car. You can actually feel it. Maybe that's all in my head, but some A14 flying under there. My Advil allergy. It underestimated pollen in the mountains because the pollen season was over here and I was feeling like crap. So what I'm trying to do, even though I don't have the actual equipment here yet, do this in stages so it's not not all stressed out. And take my time. Do this a little bit at a time rather than trying to do it all at once. Okay, I'm gonna pull this side molding off here too so I don't scratch it. I think I am. I'll try to do it without breaking anything. I don't think I broke anything. It's good. That's cool. The Velcro's down. I know I'm gonna need to take this off too, which I already broke. All right, so we got that all apart. Let's put this door molding back in place so I can get underneath the carpet. I'm guessing I need to take this off, but who knows? All right, so let's see. How did he do this? Get all this stuff out of here. What's up, Buster?
Hey. Why are you tipping the seat over? Why are you doing that?
I'm trying to get this wire off. Watch out.
I'm trying to break my seat.
Your seat? This is yours?
Yeah, that's my seat.
Yeah.
I'm trying to break that seat.
No, I'm not trying to break it.
I'm trying to break the wire.
I'm trying to pull the wire out.
Oh. How about we get something better that you can see? How about we get it where you can see better? Can you turn this on?
All you do is push the button.
Can you get the letters? I'll let out.
I'm not going to let this beat me, Rye.
What if it shocks you? What if it shocks you?
The battery's disconnected, so we can't.
Oh, there's another shock line. There's another shock.
Yeah. It's not like the house has lots of shocking
Can I
power.
I want to see where the shock key line is. I want to see where the shock is. I
No.
don't even see it.
Aha! Idiot. Okay, fixed it.
Yes.
Got it.
Hey, good
I'm
job.
trying to squeeze these little tabs, and all you do is pull this thing out to the right, and it comes
Good
out.
job.
Yeah, all right, watch out, bro. I got to get the seat out of here.
I want to go see what's back there. I have a flashlight. What's back there? Whoa. I can see what's back there.
Watch out, Buster. This is real heavy. Not real heavy, but heavy enough. There goes the seat. Watch out. Got some dirt on the seat. All right, guys, so here's where the factory amp is. I don't know how much of this you can see. But the carpet is already sort of pre-cut. I just need to cut it the rest of the way. You need to bring the light over here, Ryan. I can't see. You need to come help me. So this is where the crossovers and the Moscone processor is going to go. So all I do is fold this back. There's the old trusty factory amp. So I'm going to take this puppy out. I'm going to hold that in there. There's a lot of room down here. I was wondering if we were going to be able to fit the processor down here. Easily be able to. And then maybe a bracket that bolts right to this factory location. Those are saw blades. You can't mess with those. Put those back. 12 factory amp. Now all I need to do is pull these plugs out. Which I always seem to struggle with. That's one. Let's see. There's two. So there's the factory amp. Weighs nothing. I'm definitely going to be adding some weight to this car. So what we're going to do is just cut this harness, which will easily be able to put back in place. So it looks like this is our, these must be our speaker outs, and this is our high level in. Here's the hole, the factory harnesses, that's the factory amp. So all I'm going to do is cut this like here. So that way I have enough to put it back on later, and then I think this will be the line level input. It's the amplifier. So that's the output of the amp, and the input, I would guess. But Sound in Motion is going to do a whole wiring diagram for me. All the wires are color coded and stuff, so then I can just run the wires up underneath. All right, so now I'm going to take this center console apart, just so that I can easily run the sub. I'm going to see if I'm putting this in the center. Now we're supposed to do this nice and slow. Because I think there's a hook up here. Take this side off first. Yeah, nice and easy. Uh-oh. What was that? I don't know where the heck that goes. Well, I guess we'll figure out where, oh, I see. It's right here. Okay, so we can run the wires into here. I'm just trying to figure out how I'm going to get this center tray out of here. All right, sorry, the card ran out there. So, looks like all I'm gonna do is, I'm gonna probably do this today if I can get this out. I need to make like a little black. Actually, I can't make it today. I gotta figure out what the heck the sub control is gonna look like. At least I can get it out, see what I'm working with. I'd rather put it than over here in the steering column. Rather put it here in the center. Assuming it's not too difficult. Make something look decent. Question is, how do I get this thing out of here? Sure, there's just a little tab there. Ah, I see. I know this looks scary, guys, but this really is pretty stinking easy. I think I can see under here enough to... You're right, that's really annoying, bro. All right, after fighting with this for a little while, we finally got it. What you got to do is pop this center actual aluminum trim section. So now I can actually see what I got here, which I'm not sure what I got, but now I can see sort of how this tray is sitting in here. I'm not 100% sure how to get it out, but looks like I push forward. Pull this rubber trim back out of the way. Okay, so now how this works. See if this thing just snaps in here somehow. I wonder if I have to take this piece off. It shouldn't be this hard. There we go. It only took me an hour. 2 hours, who knows how long to get this sucker out. Now I'm guessing the thing to do here let's see. There we go. So there, we got it out. Only jacked up one section of it. All right, so now I got to figure out how I'm going to fabricate. What I'm guessing is I'll just take the lighter off and stick it down in here, because I wonder if that would give me a actual check engine light. All right, disconnected the mic, but I decided to take the center or the little mid-range out. There's actually a closed pocket here in the door, so reduce a little bit more weight. So I took that out.